So people have been asking me a lot about what they think, what I think my vision for the diocese is. And initially my answer was, I don't know, because I don't really know the diocese well yet. And I would suggest that I still don't know the diocese well. But some things are becoming clearer to me as I go along. And I mentioned last week some 4 things that I want to kind of talk through. And they're really kind of 4 things that I would love us to be known for as a diocese. When people think of the Diocese of Pittsburgh, they think, oh, Pittsburgh is like this. And the first on that list is I would love us to be known as a praying diocese, or as a prayerful people. One of the things that I think about in terms of prayer is we often talk a lot about prayer and do fairly little of it. And we've all been involved in some sort of kind of prayer group where we share our prayer concerns for anywhere between 15 and 90 minutes and pray for 30 seconds at the end because we've run out of time. That seems to be putting some sort of cart before the horse on some level to me. I think we do really truly need to be a people of prayer. And for a couple of reasons. Because I think prayer, true prayer and being a people of prayer reminds us that the work, ultimately the work of transformation, the work of the gospel, the work of reaching people with the gospel, the work of transformation in churches is the work of God. Clearly we have things to do. Clearly we have some responsibility in that. But indeed it is the work of God. And so prayer and being at prayer reminds us that we can do nothing. We can change nothing. We need to invite the power and the presence of God into the middle of our circumstances. I think secondarily, I do think some of the challenges that are in front of us as a church more broadly, but certainly as a diocese, are simply beyond us. We do not know what to do. We struggle with understanding how do we continue to proclaim the gospel in our culture in this time. How do we make the transforming love of Jesus winsome and attractive to our neighbors and to the people around us? It is something that we need the instruction and the movement of the Holy Spirit and the person of God to help us in the middle of that. And that's why prayer is also incredibly important. And I think the third thing is ultimately related to that. When we come into prayer, we are, I think, and I hope, asking for God to increase our faith. I think practically speaking, sometimes, I won't speak for everybody, but sometimes we are as Christians functional deists. That is to say, we believe in a God somewhere up there who vaguely loves us and is, wishes something good for us. But we have very little expectation of a God who is literally present and active in our lives, in our world, ministering among us, ministering, indeed speaking to our neighbors before we even speak to them, reaching out in our communities before we reach out in our communities. And prayer brings us to a place of developing and asking for the gift of faith. And the gift of faith being trust in the supernatural action of God in our world and in our lives. And that's at the heart of, I think, we need to be. One of the things that is on, historically, has been our mission, that we are of miraculous expectation. Indeed, would that we were a people of miraculous expectation, because through prayer we have grown in our sense of faith. The beginning to everything, all of our work, must and needs to be prayer. I would love us as a diocese to be known as a praying diocese, as a prayerful diocese, a diocese that is looking to the movement and the action of God through our prayers to change and transform our lives and the world and our society around us.